Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. So I also see we've left debug here somewhere. Don't remember where. There's that. Alright, so a couple things that are bugging me is these things are really dark. And... Oh, yeah, actually I think I probably need to work on the frames of these first, because anything custom I do with these is going to require setting up a custom path for this, for those items. Fortunately, these are two completely different drawing methods, so I don't know if I can really use much of anything there. Maybe I could do the definition of a frame, but I don't know if that's a useful thing. Let's see, are you just kind of a constant thing? Yeah, it's based on slot. I'm not sure if we're going to have that information. All right, so what are we drawing here? Is this boon chart? We've got boons. We are drawing ID, name, location. We have an icon type. Okay, we have slot. We have reference. We could probably do these as keepsake. That is in just we're doing switching in here. Or it's just size right now. And use that for the kind of frame. So we do. No, this isn't just keepsake slot. So it's not quite the same thing. All right, so canvas at least will need to have an update to this. And we might have a name collision too. All right, we have another one of these in Boon Chart itself. This is going to be like a direct. All right, so that's size. We've been doing... Is it a constant frame? Oh, we have status switch. Do I even want to do a keepsake frame for this? I might want to do nothing. What the heck happened here? Okay, so you would be there, and then all this would be in. Okay, so that's not out. Status. Status? No. Boon.icon type. Oh, because I haven't. These are custom data that we've not done. Let's see. Now these are boon chart, icon type, layout duo boon. Okay, where to find it? Where to find it? Well, if we have the boon data, you should have a slot, right? Ooh, what's the technical definition of this? And maybe with capital. All right, so that takes care of the frame business. So the way I've got it set up right now. Name for slot, icon for slot. The easiest path for these is probably just to do an alternate set of graphics. This is still a special problem, though. And I don't think our API gives us any way to draw other canvases. So it would be a texture. It's from a URL, from a DOM image. So what is that going to look at? Interesting. Code texture image. Tag name equals image, else nothing. Yeah. Oh, it could be a TI image or a TI sprite. Image.width, image.height, image.height, image.json. Right, so JSON.value is D dot map, let's see, image, and then image, D dot value. It doesn't specify in what. Now decode that as value and then decode its fields. So I already had to use an extended canvas for something. I still have to figure out how I want to do that packaging-wise. Target, so that's an image load event. So we're doing an onloaded. Load yourself in JS. Well, if we did something directly in Canvas, I think we'd have to do it by pixel manipulation. Draw image itself doesn't really do anything unless, well, there's the draw modes. Hey, Dyson. Okay, that's not... Well, that at least works. I don't know if you played Hades. That would be helpful for determining what parts to describe. But this is a reference project because I found looking up certain things to be awkward in the actual in-game references. This is one of those projects where, in the process of making it, I've realized, the things that aren't great about this approach. Which I guess is good because this, I think, would be hard to do as a game mod, and I think something much simpler would work if I tried to make a game mod. But basically it's for tracking dependencies. So you can get a bunch of different abilities throughout your runs, and then those are just the basic ones. So this will kind of start to show you like what things you might be able to get and which things you could never get. And I don't know if too many of the others, well, some of these go for like legendaries from those consequences. I like that we have a call. So get these. I think most people have like a few. There's Hermes. There's a few miscellaneous you can always get. You've got a bunch. Oop. I actually need to check that because I thought these two made you eligible for that, but maybe there actually shouldn't be a line at one of these. Because the dependency here is on the actual game data. So it appears that that you have to have the conch shell to get this one. I actually want to check that now. One from each set. Room reward bonus trait. Poseidon picked up minor loot trait. Ah, okay, so it's actually, I need to do something special with this one. Because this gets translated from a trait name to a picked up minor loot thing. The real issue is that this thing doesn't combo properly. All right, well, let's commit our fixed frame. All right, so your internal name is random minor loot drop. And this is picked up minor loot trait. I don't think anything else is going to have that kind of dependency. So I should Does anything mention this? Shell loot. Loot room, shell loot. Oh, that's these things. That's the point for it. So I might, see, I could either translate the trait. It's like the ability you get is this thing. But the game data is specifying something different. Well, I mean, the game data is going to specify this, and then it's going to use that as the prerequisite. Where do we process? No, it's going to be traits. This is going to be part of one from each set. I don't know if I have a really good way to... what if we did this at the toggle stage? Because we kind of have this already. Update derived status. Hmm. It says only needs to deal with active traits. Now, it's not just linked. I mean, that could be a thing. But I was specifically thinking we do. Then this becomes model.active traits. There's some way to scroll the window I keep forgetting about because I don't use it often enough. Poseidon. And huge catch is looking for Poseidon picked up minor loot trait. Yeah. There we go. Poseidon loot dependencies. So this is one of them. It's got that unfortunate thing going on. So the easy way to do this would be to just go into GIMP and pre-prepare this. Oh, all right, we're looking at composition operators. Okay, this is not the best example for this. I might be able to use, looks like one of these kind of acted as isn't one of these it's not clear which one's the destination, which one's the source. So destination over, source over. But this is using what's there as a filter for what to draw. You could use that to draw a darker. I could use that to do a simple canvas thing that was like, here's a modified image. Source over, source in, source out. The problem is that this is like all the canvas stuff, so the lines back here would also kind of be in the sample area if you're just doing destination pixels. So the availability status of these never changes. We just need yeah, so you're never, well, you can get locked out by, but you're in a different drawing mode. Anyway. Which, did I just alpha that in that case? Yeah, maybe I just switch these to alpha and just deal with the lines. So this has something to do with the brightness level. So that's the keepsake. This would be drawing the image itself. You know, this is kind of turning into a subgroup. Oh gosh, there's more. All right, so now we have to consider this here. We don't have to consider that. This would just be, you'd just be an image actually. All right, so first off, did we get this breakout correct? Okay, so there's no effects on that, but that means we're drawing it differently. Oh. Well, shoot. Because I have all of the stuff to do, or I have a place to put the attributes in here. I don't have a place to, a good place to stick them. Let's see, so that's the texture, which is a transform. Size we use in a derived way. Although I guess I might be able to do two scales there and hope they wash out. I know, because that'd be two transforms then. What are you in this library? I guess that's really what's texture. Is texture a renderable thing? List setting. So it's going to break all of my image calls. All right, and then canvas.alpha. All right, you can see some lines, but it has about the desired effect. First, now I'm wondering, well, the slots are something different right now. Well, I guess what I'm wondering is, does that make it brighter? No, I don't think it gets any brighter. So I can't use that to brighten it up. I found a different reference to this the other day. No, that's the same one. Actually, there's a specific mode that's like lighten. Isn't there like well, no, multiply tends to make things darker, it looks like. A lighter picture is the result screen. Retain the lightest pixels of both layers. What I'm thinking is, could I, for these things, do some effect on this that would bring up the light areas without affecting the dark ones as much? This is saying retain the lightest pixels. which seems like it would, the light screen would do everything. Divides. Get some weird effects here. Multiply and screen. Yeah, it seems like it does this, and then you get the background of the other image. It basically results in an ordinary draw. Pure black or white does not result in pure black or white. What am I looking for? Well, we don't have really dark stuff in their existing content, so it's kind of hard to tell. And the white is only near the white. His kit where both units overlap, everything else made transparent, and I don't want that. It's probably by adding color values. Well, no, that would bring up the background too much. You know, this bit might be lighter, but this was all darker stuff. So it might be multiply. All right, how do we identify that? That's a slot reference. That is where we apply this. And it has to do with the color and the mode. Are you part of texture or part of advanced? You're part of advanced. Oh, and you know what? I could have done that style of let's depend. Now this is a singular item. Okay, I didn't like that. Right, because there's a list here. So actually this needs to be a thing as well. No. Oh, and you need to be a sublist. If icon type equals slot. There's so much stuff here, I don't want to reproduce it. But that would be a pretty clean breakdown for that. Well, this especially. I guess I could make a function for that. The only parameter is the status. We duplicate a little bit of this stuff. What's the status type? Boon status? These must be traits. Boon status. And this library returns renderables. And textures, which the trait ID boon status is. I almost want to make a type for this. Forgot about that detail. See, did I already remove this? Looks like it. You know, yeah, we started doing this, and I was like, is this the way to do it? It might not be the way to do it. Right. I guess I could also set up a function for, like, draw a diamond. Punt. This kind of isn't everything else. All right, very, very bright. So this is going to. So would this just be brightness? Maybe. And we decided that with pure white, Multiply might work. Or not. Let's try a different operator, see if these are working at all. Oh. There's the alpha factor. Interesting. So does multiply not work with alpha? Or maybe white. Oh, maybe it does only darken. I feel like there's a little bit of a bluish tint to that. So yeah, multiply. I guess this is just the original color. It just looks bright relative to everything else. So screen brightens. Oh, you know what? These are contrasting colors, so that's why we got the full white there. Darker, light parts become lighter. Yeah, you can't really tell any difference between the two. And I didn't really get all that white either. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. That's too white. Retains the lightest. I feel like that's going to lighten up the background still. Adopting the chroma of the top layer. You see, that would swamp the entire thing. You don't deal with clipping paths, do you? No. Yeah, I don't think we can tease anything with this. Although, what if we drew it multiple times? And what would we do with that? Not a source. Only where they overlap. So I actually just don't want this complexity in there right now. You know, we eventually want to deal with multiple versions of that. I I replaced you. Oh, yeah, we did not have brightness here. Why? These are both 0.9. Oh no, those lines are there. They're just a lot fainter. So I can definitely make it brighter. Is one enough? Yeah, one of these with just the brightness wouldn't really be enough. And brightness, these only really have two stages. It's really just active. It might apply it to the group or to the entire group rather than to the individual images if I specified it for the whole thing. Yeah, kind of slightly cheesy, slightly red, whereas maybe if I did it manually, I want to do more of a white. Now, there might be a mode where we like draw white and then use Luma and Chroma while adopting not the hue. Luma and hue. Hue and Chroma. Yeah, adopting the Luma. Yeah, actually saturation and color are the two things. Right? Luma and chroma. Saturation must be another name for one of these. Luma and chroma. Luma and hue. So chroma must be saturation. But hue is upping the hue of the top layer. I still want to bring up the... I guess I don't know if it's saturation. It's really... This is kind of the effect we want. Adopting the hue and chroma. I mean, that really depends on how this is encoded. That is... What is that, Luma? Well, this is natively a very dark Luma. All right, so we have a trick. That might still be worth doing separate graphics for. I don't know. If I drew the keepsake again. Oh, no, we just opted for alpha on you. So we solved that darken problem. These would probably look better if I did separate graphics for them. Did I not commit stuff here? Yeah, I think I didn't commit some stuff here. I don't think we did the fade on the... Well, no, we removed frame. Okay, that's on canvas. It's not frames. So these are, we're almost using these more like boon icons. Oh, it apparently has weirdly encoded alpha. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything sticking out. Yeah, nice. You see the alpha just fine. Now, what would we do here? That's interesting. That doesn't really do it. Ooh. Or we turn that down and this up. No. Maybe I need kind of a more of a posterize. Nope. Hmm. Well, I need to find a way to brighten this up before doing that. Well, that wasn't it. Yeah, it brings up everything. Hmm. If only I could do this in HSV space. Well, actually, that kinda is. So that's kind of what I wanted. Not too much glow. And maybe that would be a nice way to show active, but I think the distinctness of the shape is probably more useful here. All right, so Psychon attack. No, not levels. Oh, we forgot to okay this. Huh. Nope. Reset. Okay. Now there's no apply and keep open. All right. Somewhere we define. No, not you. Where do we define these at? Are they part of traits? There we go. Which I guess melee, secondary, ranged, rush. Yeah, so it's not a one-to-one. Now I may no, we took off that stuff. All right, that shows up a little bit better. I guess we really only have calls, don't we? I guess I could have actually just swapped graphics for the dim version, but that would be a special case because normally we're just drawing the darkened square over it. Problem is I haven't been committing the supergiant graphics, and those are derived. Wait. Maybe I did. Okay, I did end up undoing that. I thought it wasn't included. Oh, because I had a special case there. I saw that case change. Okay, that's just the frame. Right, so we also had to do something up here, which was we don't need the overlay. We did have to extend image to put the alpha in there. That's where we moved this thing up. All right, so all of these. And you are a list settings. So I could use prepend because it's telling me there's one item in a list. The number of parentheses required is going to make it particularly more pleasant to use. And we want canvas.alpha brightness. That looks like it. And I'm falling behind on notes. All right, so we kind of dealt with that. We got the keepsakes frame. We dealt with that. I don't know if that's the one issue. I actually think I've done this. Because we got the Hades thing. All right, so this was bothering me recently. We show a line going to this as it would be available, but of course it's not until we get to. This might be a data thing. Yeah, because I've got this all as one group. Now, actually, you were linked. And you were linked. Which is why they appear thinner. Can I do that with the mechanics I currently have defined? Because right now we have a single link. I can have one group depend on another group. I think Link currently only supports single prereqs. It's like a line has a single field for what it's linked to. So individually, these things would light up based on their associated trait, but they participate in this group. If I made them all their own little thing, then this would light up on this would light up on this. We just had the question of how do we make you do it? Code-wise, what are we looking at? Well, I guess initially this would come in. Wait, come into layout. What are we trying to create? It could be a kind of. Boons, the main things we would go through. So connector has a single link, which is a maybe trait ID, that could become a list. That would kind of have similar amount of care required. Okay, so links are only used in the chart right now. Well, this is really just when a line highlights. Just ID. We have to get boon status. So if that was a list of links, we would have to do like a fold over all traits to see if they were all available. And then this is there a link at all, which you could still test for empty list, full list. You get the calculate active groups. So this is another bit of code that actually does use that. This is member ID. That would be active when everything. So once again, it would be kind of an all test. Right, because we split on colon, which is how they do their properties. So if I did it was like trait comma trait, it would just split that again and return a list. Oh, your extract ID. Do I use you? No, I only use you there, so that would still be a special. Connection, list versus just. Wait, where's the maybe? Maybe. Maybe it must be a stock decoder in DXF decoder? Yes. which we would have to deal with the conditionality of that. Okay, so we need to be doing live parsing while we work on this. That was entirely too fast. Oh, this is going to be a data change. So this is... So you're linked to you, except these all have to become Yeah, right now links work that if your prerequisite gets set, because I could link you to one prerequisite, that prerequisite would have to be... Yeah, because if I did this, if the group includes a link, so we actually have to do custom groups for these. Well, I guess really in this case, the group becomes this trait is on, and this trait is on, and this trait is on. Because it's going to light up at the same time. At which point, these don't even necessarily need to be separate things. Which actually is going to kind of redo these completely. So the things we would have, let's see, show loot, show doom, loot room. We would just have like loot, shell, room. All right, so we're using room as purple. So that moves this. Oh, these things still have to have groups though. So these all become their own little things. I've already used a couple of darks. Man, this is going to make these things just be a ton of colors. I mean, there's others, but... We haven't used dark magenta yet. No, this is edit. It's a connector. Maybe she almost has its own connector group. I think I make some assumptions on that connector being in there. These are going to be single trait things. I think that might be a dark red. I think that's a dark green. It's got the link, layer. Yeah, this is the problem with long names. All right, connector. All right, so dark blue, or maybe that's a dark cyan instead of a dark green. They're pretty close. You're dark cyan. I guess these don't have to be different colors. It just helps me see whether I've tagged them correctly. Room reward bonus trait. I think that's... Oh, is it a dark magenta or a dark red? Room reward? Okay. That means the groups won't light this up. And then we get into this. All right, do we have any immediate errors? Okay, so already that has changed. These things don't turn on because they can't turn on right now. All right, that's the canvas library. Or actually, did that even... No, that's a runtime parse at this point. All right, so decode... This is gonna... The type change is gonna be the annoying part. Because boon chart goes from maybe to a list. Those have to map through. Layout has to go from a maybe to a list. What do we have to do with you? Now, as I could... We could probably arrange to do a temporary version of this that's just there. Now, this is on the empty list, so this technically has to be a catch-all for now. And duplicate the whole thing down here. Maybe we want to end up doing a function for that. This is the same, right? Set.member, insert, active, active. Link group active, link group active. Wait. Why are we doing this? Layout.connections, layout.connections, list fold all. Because that's the set.empty, because we need to do this twice to get derived connections. But the internals of this are the same. It's just we need different data. Of course, I can't test this refactoring in isolation right now. Because we were in the middle of changing the other thing. Okay, so that's layout. We're going to have all kinds of issues with this. Here, adjust. Okay, editor glitch. All right, and then we have the actual parser. So you're not a maybe. Well, shoot, it is still a maybe because the link might not be there. We just have to make this return an empty list, right? Which means we have to handle the maybe differently. So, link value. It's not just succeed link. Now we have to do... We only expect to, but really it's, is it a... There's a string there. Split should still return at least a singular value. So maybe this is just succeed. However, it makes you, well, there's extract ID, although we're assuming link. So it's already specialized to this. So the problem is we could still fail to find a link at all. So we were trying to do a maybe, so you would just be succeed empty list. That's the same as our nothing. And then it's not a maybe. Oh, you also have to be a list. All right, we missed a maybe. You are in... we're still compiling SVG. All right, compilable. Ooh, bad body, code 1000. Okay. So there are other things that can fail in there. If we get to this point, but you can still fail. That's a result map. Case decoder of list, if okay. So you maintain the error. Do we have like map error? It's not a very standard thing. And then only does the succeeds. I guess it would be a one of. With and then, huh? Oh, right. This could alternately be thought of as tag 1000 text and then. Might read a little bit nicer there, but... Oh, I don't have a one of, do I? I have never had to do that operator yet. All right, so will this tell me what it needs to be? Might fail in the definition rather than the use. Okay. That's a list of, so we have a list of type. And that is the decoder of list strings. Decoder of something. Is it a decoder? No, maybe it's a decoder. It's a list of decoder. To a decoder? Okay, and then to do always compiles. So we have the type. We want to try these cache decoders. Oh, you need to take an explicit list because we're applying these and then doing things. And if we get to the end, I mean, I get maybe to be proper about it, we should have collected like all the errors or something. Oh, did I have an explicit? I did have an explicit type. Code not found. There's general failure, which was probably an explicit failure. Well, is that supposed to be a parse error? Probably not. So if we wanted to fancify this, we could probably collect all the errors, but for now... And this is probably a... It's like a two-string. All right, so that parses, let's see. That would be like every link. Okay, so looks like standard ones are still working. Are we only doing substring checks? This is probably like it's the first trait listed. Oh, right, because I pulled the first thing as an intermediate method of doing these. I guess the only problem with putting in the sort of fake version is now I don't get type errors telling me where everything I have to go fix to make it work right. Uh, Now the canvas was really just... Oh, I guess you actually are doing an ID check. This was the part that was just line width. So this is really just empty, not empty. I don't think this would consider it covering all cases if we made this empty list, though. So both this and group, let's see. Oh, you know what? I don't technically have to do that logic for the other thing because that is for derived groups and nothing depends on a multi-step group. It would still be proper to do it though. So this is an if it has requirements thing, else it's bright. Right, yeah. So for things like this, we turn on this one, but this line is still off. So that's why it's overriding the color on an active group basis. We have to see if its particular thing is active, which might be multiple things. We have an all. But once again, the case here is actually empty list for us now. And then this is everything, but, because it's the same as link. We need ID. But the group won't ever be active. So we have to do, is it boon chart? Or is that actually layout? Calculate active groups. Once again, this is if it's linked. All right, so standard logic seems fine so far. Hey, it actually seems to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. So who else has that? I think Artemis has it. You've got a 3 of. Demeter has it. And then... Now, Hermes has this thing going on, but it's not a 2 of 3. Or is it? Oh, this is also going to affect my generated. Not just one of set from list. One of set from list. Open recent. Artemis. And we're probably, man, we're already stretching the colors even more here. So I might have to reuse. Because I feel like this is probably just about every color. All right, so things that are not in the local view. See, the blue's right there, yellow's right there, green's coming down over here, red's coming down over there, dark red's coming down over there. Purple and cayenne aren't used close. I guess we don't have an orange line. All right, so we got a cayenne and magenta that we're not close. I guess yellow's only a little bit. It doesn't actually. Yeah, that's green. The yellow doesn't actually intersect. Of course, it sorts them by color. And then we need one for ammo exit. And we said that the cayenne did not directly intersect us here. Get out of here. All right, so these things are already linked. These things need to be double linked. bonus trait, Artemis supporting fire trait. Okay, so those are fine. That one's fine. That one's fine. That one's fine. Pin recent Demeter. All right, we have nowhere near as many colors in use here. We have some green, we have some brown. I think that leaves us, well, dark colors. For one. Red, green, blue's in use, cyan's in use, magenta's in use. Oh, I have grid lines off here. New layer. 0 ammo bonus trait. No, that's an edit. Maximum chill bonus slow. Dark red I think we have in use. Dark green I don't think we do. Maximum slow. All right. Link. Maximum chill blast. Maximum chill bonus slow. Maximum chill blast. 0 ammo bonus trait. Zero ammo bonus trait. Maximum chill bonus slow. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. That looks good. I might have been able to demo this up by having like a node here that had like the one of requirements. But it'd be some weird, maybe like an invisible boon. I guess I've got things like the slot references in there. But code's written. I guess the colors are the only, color proliferation is the only sad thing about it. All right, make sure these don't have any temp files sitting around. Oh, we did not do our new build. So that will probably just plain fail. Yeah, it'll fail very noisily. So this will be the layout side. It would just become a list. I think that's probably it on that side. Oh, I guess I have to map these myself. Okay. How do we do lists? Lists.map. Oh, I just need to do a list.map.map. Okay, so that compiles that. Compiles import data, runs import data. Compiles the main file. And we have fast load with hopefully everything working. That looks good. Dirty commie. All right. Should go back to monitor for much less work. This is probably gonna be a messy one. All right, when we update our window size, we'd like to maintain our current view center. Do we need to maintain our effective zoom? Because that's not good right now. If we do that versus that, I guess we really need to do something more like this. Okay, so the paradigm right now is that zoom is the view. So actually, that much is already working. And if it's centered, it actually maintains pretty well. It's when we're off here. Well, okay, that's not good. So maybe it's with zoom that we have issues? Seems to be the case, although if we do that, zoom out, more or less centered. Yes. It is maintaining center with zoom that seems to be our issue. All right, so there is window center. Okay, it was just there for reference. And as we resize, we do nothing to that. We clearly know where our center of screen is, though. Of course, we actively recalculate that. All right, so when we're in here, that's just the graphic changing size within the offset. Okay. All right, window size, window resize. This is an initial message, so you're just going to do a default view. So we actually don't care about you. It's only resize. Which needs both versions. Which would be model.window width, model.window height. So we've got that. Is it view chart center? So we exposed, which we probably used focus on. Yeah, if I reused all my parameters, default view, focus on, focus follow. We don't use the test thing. Wheel. Tweak it by that much. Difference. So actually, it could be a little bit like this. We change the zoom. So this was at a point. Relative to our offset. And then we took that to a 0 vector because we're going to add it. And scaled that by the zoom change. So there might not need to scale here. So we don't need tweak. We don't have a point. We have our old width and height, potentially. We have our old model. So we have old center. New center. could we could probably do this in screen coordinates. Or else figure out which direction this has to go. Yes, because we could think of this as offset. Did I ever do a sub? No. Minus A. Because it should be plus at that point, but this is symmetric. So I don't need you directly. So that's not quite right. It holds up a little bit better under scaling. Do I have to include scaling as a factor here? Well, even at 1. Maybe I have to remove this as a component, because this is screen. Yeah, because you are a corner. So I don't necessarily adjust you the same way. This is where I maybe kind of wish that I had done this to center. So where do I need to move the offset by based where the center goes? Well, the focus on, be focus on new center, right? Well, focus on God. So if we reuse all our parameters. But this is the center of the chart. Yeah, this is the center of the chart, not the center of our view. So I would have to do, I guess really what we do is we do screen to chart and chart to screen, which we don't have under that name. Zoom offset. Well, there's zoom and chart. There is... I know what this was, add -1 because I didn't have minus. Okay, yeah, you're using hit check, so that's fine. The screen to chart, your inverse scale. Add chart center. Because we're also doing this. Well, focus view is what would take it back. And this is in terms of a chart point. So window resize. Does this include... Well, we want the old screen center. So the old center is that. That's the old screen center. Do we care about that now? Does this simply become screen to chart, model point? That would depend. So if we update this model, it's something more like this. And it's focus view. All right, so there is our old center. Old center. We surely have a model for this. Or is this view chart diameter? Chart metrics dot adjacent distance for a focus on. Do we not have this? Is this just like zoom? Current zoom level? I feel like I might need to do something else there. Okay, that very much does not work. Let's see if we can get this to work. Just focusing on the center. No. Is 0, 0 not the right point? Default view, 0, 0, 1, rotation. That only depends on rotation if we're not changing. See, focus follow was... Our rotation was slowly changing. We had a focus position of God, which was in chart space. Oh! Zoom is 1 divided by diameter. So... we just invert it again. That's very definitely falling away. So where the heck do we think we are here? So that was already negative, negative. Which doesn't seem credible. Point minus offset, chart diameter. Can I do this same operation? Say after focus view, or default view in particular. Oh, you're defined to operate on point though. So it's not an easy thing to slipstream. Oh, you were... Speaking of slipstreaming... Oh, you return a point. Ugh. And that doesn't take a viewable, I bet. Well, it's probably not defined. Nope, yep, viewable model. Okay, it does. The arguments are just awkward. All right, where do we call focus? Once again, it's the last thing out. Wait, what do we do when we start? Oh, it's going to be in some of these updates, isn't it? Oh, it's the initial window size, which does do this. Yeah, that is not the value I expected. Oh, wait, this is 0, 0. No, that would be chart to screen. Okay, and actually the center is 0.5, 0.5. That's slightly suspicious. Okay. Yeah, I guess if this point's there, then that makes sense that was there. What? 1, 0. Do I have to modify this? It'd be kind of silly if that wasn't symmetric. But apparently this is what we have to pass through for hit detection. So the 1, 0. Well, did I leave old center in multiple places? No. It is, okay, that's getting bigger by a half. That's... Y is flip-flopping? I'm not sure which way Y has to go, actually. Okay, that's better. Okay, it seems like we actually have to do some sort of inversion of Y. Um... I don't have a flip operator here. This is deeply concerning. Man, which side do we do this on? Well, that was at Y0, and this worked. But I guess we have to see which of those makes sense. All right, X is still good. That Y is okay. This is still at center. That appears to be the right order. Okay, no change there, that's good. Seems to me... Oh, well, there's center. And here's all the things we're doing to center. Why we're inverting X. This is one of the things I just found that had to work, I guess. Well, there's your add. So apparently we could use some more thinking about coordinates. Because we have the screen to center that works for hits. But then we have to do different... It's not the same coordinate setup as what we've been using for focus view, which is what we're using for the gods, which are apparently not in the same coordinate system as the... Or maybe hit boon. Yeah, it does screen to chart, hit chart. Just distance. So I must be doing some translation of the input values. It's hard to see. Harder to see the difference with that. Okay, we didn't quite properly account for some of the changing space there, although it's like that works fine. Hmm. So now there's the great question of why is our coordinate systems different? Screen to chart gives us values that are good for hit detection, but they're not in the same coordinate setup as we pass to focus on. Are the God centers different from their associated boons? And I don't know if drawing is good. So I try to draw axis. Will that really tell me what coordinate system the points are in? Focus position of, okay, so maybe you're doing something. No, you're a straight up pole. Geometry.rotate. I thought I was just adding center when I'm doing the, boons. Center. Oh, well, we're doing focus on. So focus on might actually have to take the opposite of that point as its translation. That could explain some of the stuff it's doing. But if we're adding the center point to the boon, and we have a screen coordinate, which just happens to be the center, could be, whatever we're clicking on. We hit that. Why doesn't it focus on that point? Okay, mouse up only used for that. Point is a screen point. And in here, we have to do all this translation stuff. So if you're not, this is actually, you're just point. So old center is a misnomer. Right, because I'm also doing a drag here. Well, yeah, so the dragging thing is going to mess me up a little bit. Yeah, so those definitely aren't inversible. Why does this work for gods? For gods, we've rotated them to where x is 0. Although I'd swear I did that negative in there for... Oh, I had to do that for focus follow. When that wasn't true. Something's weird. I guess I'm too tired for this right now. That's a big project. There might be some optimization we can do in here, but it kind of works. So there's definitely something going on. Because like this works. And this works. And we even had focus follow working. Oh. Line joins. Actually, caps are probably what I'm going to need. Display boon connector. Line style. I don't, do I even import this module? I guess I import this module. Okay, so those stick out a little bit. But it really helps with some of these things. Is that even a thing we could mark? It might be a layer style if it's there at all. Yeah, you do this in the dimensions you create. You don't do it in individual lines. So we're gonna that leaves us with some overshoots here. But there's lots of places where we get okay, so duo connectors. Now duo connectors might get weird because they're dashed. Oh, you're going behind. Yeah, you're going behind there. And you need to go behind there because of this stuff. So yes, it rounds them, which gives one of them a priority. Well, I guess that gives it a kind of termination. These joins end up a little bit weird. These could possibly end differently. I don't have a good way to identify where we would need to use a different cap, though. Oh. What to do is display its position. So either having these things kind of move along their line to the nearest visible point, or showing them here if they're not on screen. Do I actually draw polylines anywhere? Yes. But I mean, as long as it's drawing something there, yeah, we could change. We could change the joins on polylines. There's really not many of them though. Probably mostly Aphrodite. And I'm kind of fine with those being pointy. All right, well, it's pretty good for now. Is that good for now? I kind of want to look into controller support, but I think that might be... might be a bit of a thing. Also, the God views are the obvious thing there. So you're the only one that's explicitly just the gamepad. Huh. Need to add a port. Inertial sensors. Okay, yeah, all the inputs is pressed. Sandbox O. I might have to do some reading on that. The problem is that these are going to conflict with, well, replace Elm Browser. I might not be doing anything beyond Elm Browser. Wait, we'll ask the user. Wow. It's really that bad, huh? Because, I mean, most games will just figure it out. Now, maybe they just have big libraries of known controllers? Oh, these are the textual descriptions. So, yeah, we probably want to do something that she described what they did. We'll have to see how the mapping goes. But yeah, that is... I was hoping this would just be like... We subscribe to a message. Well, yeah, we have buttons and indexes. So yeah, maybe it's just a game. Maybe it's just an ID, and they just have all the mappings built into the game. He keep polling. Okay. Now, this example has a full control setup. This is to configure the left stick and two buttons. Huh. Yeah, okay. So that's a big project. That's for another time. I don't know if we're working on this evening in the evenings. We kind of got some big stuff, although, let's see, prereqs, maybe doable. Just gonna have to figure out how to display stuff around. Well, that gets into duo boom positioning too. But that's support from all subscribers. I'll see how I end up feeling later today. Maybe it's time to go back to master engineer. Maybe it's I don't know if I want to deal with this or not. We'll see. Bye bye.